Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Contrary to the statements made by the Ukrainians about their counteroffensive, the Russians are not showing signs, at least in their statements, that they are going to give up. Yesterday I had a video with an article where Dmitry Medvedev, former Prime Minister of Russia, stated that Russia will fulfill its military operations goals. Now, I don't know, could it be fantasy or living in denial? But I have now another one saying the same thing, and you can say, well, maybe this guy lives in denial as well. This article comes from Ukrainska Pravda from September 12, 2022. Russia's Security Council insists special operation will be successful despite defeat in Kharkiv region. So the Russians acknowledge that they had a setback and they had to retreat. They say regroup and this and that. They had to leave. They had to, they retreated. However you want to take it. A step back. I don't care how you call it, retreat, step back, regroup, I don't know, whatever, it's retreat, you went back. So Nikolai Patrushev, the Secretary of the Security Council of Russia, this is the one that is a friend of Putin, worked in KGB with him, and other people see him as possibly Putin's successor. So this Nikolai Patrushev keeps on repeating that the Russian Federation will achieve its objectives in the war against Ukraine. Well, I don't know if this is a wishful thinking or not, but he's not going to say, well, we're doomed, let's go. Pick up our toys and let's go wherever. So Russian state-owned news outlet RIA Novosti quoted Patrushev. In general, the events surrounding Ukraine show that the United States and its vassal seek to drag out the conflict in Ukraine by increasing the supply of weapons and military equipment, which will be used against peaceful citizens in the future. However, despite large-scale Western aid to the Nazi regime and unprecedented sanction pressure on Russia, the objective of the special military operation will be achieved. Previously, over the last few days, Ukrainian troops were able to inflict a crushing defeat on Russian troops in Kharkiv Oblast, liberating, again, you don't liberate, you take over, because the people who live over there, I don't think they really want to be liberated, liberating such cities as Balaklia and Izium, and reaching the border with Russia. Even the Russian Ministry of Defense had to admit that Russian troops had been forced to withdraw from Kharkiv Oblast. Well, I don't think that you will have a lot of Russian leaders who would say, yeah man, we got smashed over there, we're losing everywhere. On the other hand, they admitted that they pull their troops back. They said because we had to bring it to Donetsk and help over there. Well, you don't do that. I mean, what do you mean? You pull out and then the guys go in. You lost. You had two positions, right? North and, let's say, Donetsk, south, a little bit south. And then what do? You leave that position and just give the Ukrainian Izium like that? It doesn't sound to me like a calculated move. Why would you do that? Why would you give up those positions once you fought for them, because they fought for them? So I think that's clear that the Russians messed up over there, or the Ukrainians were good enough to break the front, the lines, and advance. They claim they reached or almost reached the border with Russia. We'll find out. Now, there is the danger. Let's say the Ukrainians are pushing the whole Russian army back to the border prior to, February 24th. Then what? I'm not saying they should not do it. After all, that's what they consider being their country. Even though those people living over there, they don't want to be in that country. But they don't care. They want a territory, not the people. If they could get people to be shipped eastward over whatever, that's fine, I think, for these guys. Which, it's understandable if you look at the hatred they will encounter. And not only the hatred. Do you think that the Ukrainian army, when they're going to go back, let's say liberating, there will be peace and quiet and love and prosperity? The first thing that they will do, they will go hunting for the so-called, and some of them are, collaborators. And they could label whomever they want as collaborator. And then you have a neighbor who doesn't like the other neighbor, goes and reports, hey, that was a collaborator. They will show up and get that person without any due process, anything like that. Let's grab him out. Like Stalin did, the Georgian Stalin, not the Russian Stalin. There was no Russian Stalin, there was a Georgian Stalin. So, Gruzin. So what's going to happen after that? After they reach the border with Russia? Will they continue going? What if the Russians all of a sudden determine, you know what? You came too close now. Our statehood is in danger. Our, traditions, our tribe, our nation. So you know what we do when we reach this point? We use nuclear weapons. So then what? They're talking about, the Ukrainians are talking about, it's unbelievable, about a local mini nuclear war. It would trigger somehow the Third World War based on just a local scuffle. They still think like they did with sanctions against Russia. Limited, we do this, and they don't do anything, and we keep it under control. As of now, it is kind of under control, unless the Russians will just turn off their entire gas to Europe and say, okay, screw it, that's it. We lose some money for a little bit until we find markets in the east, and you're going to find your markets, whoever's going to give you whatever. And believe me, it is going to hurt the Europeans more than the Russians will be. Not the Americans. Nah. So then they try to do it controlled. I think this war is kind of controlled, but it seems like it runs, how should I put it, it's just out of control. Because after all, it's about winning. So who's going to win, who's going to lose? And what is winning, what is losing? What is winning for Russia, we know. But what is losing for Russia, I think we also know. There would be nuclear war. Russia cannot win. What do you mean win? Win what? Stop over there at the border where they used to be if they got pushed over there and say, you know what? Okay, man, you pushed us back. We're cool, man. You're tough. Now let's go back to doing business as usual. No, the whole purpose from the Russian perspective was to achieve certain goals. If they don't achieve those goals, well, just say, okay, now I'm afraid of you. I'm not going to do anything. I don't know. We'll see. Winter is coming, by the way, and see what kind of pressure will be put on certain countries to pressure Zelensky. And I don't even know if the reported successes, Ukrainian successes of the counteroffensive are really as extensive as the Ukrainians are reporting. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.